Hey there, teachers. How many times have you been with your family or with friends and you really want to enjoy the time that you're spending with them, but like a leaky faucet that you just can't turn off, thoughts about school just keep leaking into your brain? You can see the faces of your students floating through your head. You're maybe thinking about a lesson that went a little bit off the rails or starting to plan a new concept that you're going to be teaching tomorrow. And all of that keeps you from really unplugging and being in the moment with your family and your friends. I'm Rachel Lynette. You may know me from Minds in Bloom, from Teachers Pay Teachers, or from my newest venture, Teacher Self-Care, where I talk all about teacher self-care, which is so important. And today we are going to talk about how to stop thinking about school when you are at home or with your friends or doing things off the clock. So the first thing we need to do, the first strategy, is a mindset readjust. So often teachers feel guilty when they're not working. They feel like they can't do enough. No matter what they do, it's not enough. And it's true, there's always going to be more work to do. It is never going to end. You're never going to be done. And so you need to be okay with leaving work undone, with knowing that it's not going to be all done all the time, and that is okay. Second, you need to be clear that taking a break, that having time to yourself, well-deserved time when you are off the clock, is not only okay, it's good for you. It's good for your mental health, emotional health, physical health. It's good for everything. And in fact, by having time away from school, both physically and in your thoughts, you will be a better teacher. You need that time away. It's important to recharge. Strategy number 2 is to draw hard lines, to be really clear. This is my time when I'm working. Either I'm on the clock or I've taken work home, because I know all teachers do, but this is the time that I'm going to work on that. But when I'm done, I'm done. It's over. And I will only work to this time. And then I'm going to stop, I'm going to put it aside, and now I'm having family time, or I'm having time for myself, or I'm going to go out with my friends. Whatever it is, it's important that you draw those lines, that you block them out on the calendar, and then maybe even give it a name, like personal time, home time, family time, me time, free time, anything that makes sense to you. Give it a name, block it on the calendar, and then honor that time. So by honoring that time, I mean that you do your best not to think about school during that time. And we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes and how to avoid that. But also that you don't multitask during that time with school activities. So you're not, say, watching TV, but also answering emails from parents. You're not at the playground with your kids, but also correcting papers. No planning a science lesson while you're cooking dinner. When you are focused on home, you're focused on home. These next 2 strategies are going to help you if you're really struggling with thoughts during your personal time, thoughts of school. So one thing you can do is to write all your thoughts down. Write everything down. The worries, the plans, the thoughts, the freaking out about things that didn't go right. Everything that you are worried about, the problem that you're having with certain students or certain parents or administration, just write it all down in a giant stream of consciousness or a long list, whatever works for you. If you can, do it with paper and pencil, or a tablet and pencil, but write it by hand. If typing is all you got, then do that. Even on your way home from school in the car, dictating it, anything to get it out of your brain and onto paper or onto another format. So the reason that this works is twofold. Your brain knows that all this stuff, all this school stuff, is really important. And so it feels like it needs to remind you of it all the time. It needs to keep things at the top of your brain. Don't forget this. Don't forget you're having an issue with that student. Don't forget that you need to plan this lesson. Don't forget those papers you have to correct. Don't forget, remember, you have to do all these things. That's your brain's job, and it takes it very seriously. When you write things down, then you're telling your brain, look, I put it in this safe place. We can look at it whenever we want. It is a reminder. It's right there. You don't have to keep reminding me anymore. So that's one good thing it does. Another thing your brain wants to do is it wants to solve all the problems. And when you write it down, you've done the first step to solving a problem. You've written it down, it's there for you to see, and now you can start working on that problem. In fact, sometimes just by writing it down and thinking about it in that way, you actually do solve the problem. You say, oh, wow, I could do this. And then you've solved that problem. So sometimes it even works right there in the moment. So writing things down can be a really, really good tool. Another good way to use the writing down exercise is as kind of a transition between your school time and your free time, your time that's yours. You could do it right before you leave school or right when you get home or maybe right before the weekend. Might be a good time. I think that's a really good thing to do Friday, right before you leave school or when you get home. Just write down all the things and they'll just sit there during the weekend until you can pick them back up again. Another strategy you can use is to focus on the present. When those thoughts are kind of invading your brain, then gently dismiss them and focus on something that's right in front of you right now. Maybe it is the beautiful flowers on the walk that you are on. Maybe it is your daughter's smile and laugh as she's sliding down the slide. Maybe it is the smell of the shampoo in her hair when you're hugging her. Maybe it is your partner's laugh when you make a joke. Maybe it's the ridiculous tie of the game show host on the show you're watching. Maybe it's the song you're listening to, the smell of dinner in the Instapot. Whatever it is, just focus on the present. And if those thoughts are still happening, then focus on another thing in the present. Just keep focusing on the present, and those thoughts of school, which are not the present, will dissipate. When you focus on the present, you do a few good things. Aside from hopefully banishing those thoughts, you're also really experiencing the now, the moment, which when you think about it is kind of all we have, right? The past is already gone. The future's not arrived. Life is really about the present moment. And if you're not present for the present, then you're really losing out. And so are the people that you're with. Another thing about focusing on the present is it's a really great opportunity for gratitude, because you can just a quick thought of gratitude or a prayer of being thankful for whatever is in this moment. I'm so thankful that my daughter is so happy, that this day is so beautiful, that this song is so amazing and it reminds me of a time in my past that was really special. I'm so thankful for this dinner that smells so good that we're going to get to eat. Whatever it is, it's a time for gratitude. It can also be a time to change the present if you're not entirely happy. If you find that it's hard to find something to focus on, or you're just feeling a little bit restless or bored or just not, it's not the thing. Maybe you don't want to be watching the Family Feud right now. Or maybe you need to ask for some help with the dishes. Maybe there is a way, a thing you can do to change the present to make it a little bit better for yourself. When you are not at school, when you're not focusing on school time, that really is your time. And so I hope you will take it seriously and try to really draw that hard line and not think about school when you are not doing school things. Thank you so much for spending some of your very valuable time with me. I hope these tips have been helpful. Please do watch another video. The one I would recommend would be the one on saying no, so that you will have more of this personal time to spend with your family and friends and doing the things that you love. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Go out there and be the amazing teacher that you are, and be kind to yourself.